Secret friends, unite!
Welcome to the Secret Friends Unite podcast, episode 380. I'm one of your hosts, Todd Oxtra, and this is your guide to the geek side, and I'm joined by Charlie Carden.
New headphones, new mic, new wonderfulness. That is, of course, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, plug.
Yes, check out the YouTube page to see what's going on in our backgrounds, potentially cats running across keyboards, or potentially seeing the face of a guest who is returning, and that is Miss Mia Lynn. Welcome. And if you're watching, you'll know the color of her hair today.
Yeah, we got kind of this pinky orange red fire thing.
It's like a sherbet.
Don't tell him it could have been like a Twitter reward. What color was Mia's hair? Too late. Oh well.
Envy the Green Fairy is on Twitter, not Mia.
Okay. There
you go. Well,
we will
personas, Charlie. Personas.
We will do those swings at the end, but we're doing the speed round this week. But Todd, one thing that can't sneak past is this awesome issue of Action Comics, number 380 from September of 1969, where it's the Confessions of Superman. And boy, not only is this full of word bubbles where he's telling us about what he's doing on and all the dirty shit he's doing, he's typing it. He looks like you can put his finger through the typewriter of all this terrible stuff. Oh, I robbed the U.S. Mint by Clark, Superman Kent. I spied against my country by Clark, Superman
Super
Kent.
sabotage, not just regular sabotage. Super sabotage.
Sabotage. Oh my goodness.
Terrible secret weapon. I mean, yeah, this is like.
Well, that's kind of an interesting take. It was my secret weapon, so I don't know. Does popular weapons like heat vision? What would be each of our secret weapons?
I have the innumerable ability to remember day and date and year for most things that happen in the lives of most of the people I know. It's all up here.
So the opposite of spell check, you have a date check.
I'm date checker.
Okay,
you got
gotcha.
it.
Yeah,
Mia, do you have a secret weapon?
My superpower these days is that you can tell me anything you want because I will not repeat it because an hour later I'll probably have forgotten.
Oh, so you're
super short-term memory.
Yeah,
but you remember?
I'm Swiss cheese brain. That's for dang sure.
Oh boy! Oh, like Sam Beckett in Quantum Leap. Good stuff.
Very nice, very nice. It's Memento, but a little bit different. Mine would probably be my biting sarcasm. So there you go.
It's biting.
Yes.
But I'll tell you what, you be careful. Otherwise, the other bite you'll get would probably be from the dentures of our senior news correspondent. What a great segue. Our senior news correspondent, Madam Webb, with all of our rumors and news down at the corner of Hollywood and Vine. So let's get down there and get the scoop. So let's go.
Now it's time for Madam Webb's rumors and news. Take it away, boys.
Thank you, Madam Webb. My goodness, Madam Webb, I'm a little disappointed because I am moving this week. And, did my calls around to see if anybody wanted to help me move. And you said that you'd be here to help me pack out this weekend.
Whoops. Uh-oh.
And I got no return. She told me that her 3-cylinder jalopy broke down on the highway. She told me that her aunt died. I'm like, your aunt died 18,000 years ago. So all these excuses did not help me move. Man.
Terrible.
What a bad friend.
In the year that offering people pizza and beer to move doesn't take the place of two men in a truck.
No, it doesn't. Mint moving. They're excellent. They are packing up my house. Oh, well. But you know what? We're going to pack in some news this week before I pack out. And the first thing we're talking about this week is the Prey trailer, the official trailer. We got a teaser a few weeks ago, and this is going to be by Dan Trachtenberg. And essentially a unique prequel take on Predator coming to the Earth, basically hunting a Navajo tribe. This looks badass.
I think so. It's great. Mia, did you watch this one?
I did, but really have never been into Predator, so I'm kind of not sure.
I mean, it's I know. I think it looks badass too. It's definitely a kooky take because we've had Predator in the jungle with Arnie, get to the chopper, and then he was with Danny Glover in L.A., and then we've had we've had the Planet of the Predators, and we've had what are some of the
Predator,
We had
Alien.
Predators.
yeah, Predator, yeah, and then they had
AVP.
one that AVP. So there've been all flavors. So this is the first hint of what I thought was kind of cool at the end of Predators 2 when Danny Glover finally gets on their ship. And the Predator, when he's leaving, tosses him an old timey pistol from the Civil War or from the Revolutionary War era that belonged to George Washington. So proof that they've always been coming around. So yeah, this is cool. I would imagine this is set in probably 1700s or something in the plains. And yeah, it is a indigenous tribe that is being hunted. So yeah, bow and arrow isn't going to do jack shit against the Bourgeois. He's going to be in trouble.
I will say from what I saw from the trailer is that there's a chick and she looks like she's just like really wants to fight. So that makes me happy that they put it
right, totally.
Role because girl power.
Girls rule, boys drool. End of story. So yeah, so Todd, we're getting this on Hulu.
Hulu August 5th, which is kind of interesting because this definitely could have been a wide release in the summer of movies. And
Right.
I lied; it's a Comanche tribe, but apparently there is an option when you watch this movie that you can watch it with an all Native soundtrack, Native American
very
soundtrack.
nice.
So that's kind of very representative. That's very cool.
That is
I like
cool.
that. Good deal. Good. Well, I look forward to seeing this hands down. Looks like good stuff. All right, what do we got up next? Oh, Mia, this is a good one for you because you're a bigger DC fan than me. So the Justice League. We have a new roster. Todd, are we headed into a terrible era? What's going on with this roster? Do you know who any of these people are?
Yeah, Dark Crisis #1. This kicks off, and essentially we are getting give a little take on how this is going to go. Basically, Earth's remaining heroes are mourn the sudden loss of members of the Justice League. John Kent Superman is inspired to assemble a new roster of heroes to have in place against the great darkness to come, including Yara Flor's Wonder Girl. Also, we're getting a couple other Jace Fox's Batman. We got Sojourner Merlin's Green Lantern, multiple Flashes, Peacemaker, Vixen, and Firestorm.
Peacemaker.
This seems. I see a couple of pictures going down here, but this seems like kind of a packed lineup. Are they into squads? Is it going to be like East and West, like the Avengers, or there's just a lot of folks in the mix? Even just this picture. Even in the Avengers, they would have like 6 or 7 members, and that would be plenty. But there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's like 10 or 12 people in this picture here. So it seems kind of unmanageable, doesn't it?
Yeah, the new league actually, and I read that wrong. That those are heroes that are going to be led together to fight the darkness. But the new league that's going to be as part of it is obviously we've got Supergirl, Aquaman, which is essentially a different character. I believe he's the same character from Young Justice, Dr. Light, Damian Wayne's Robin, and then you get some oddballs, including
some of these,
Frankenstein, which is an old weird character, Killer Frost, Harley Quinn, Booster Gold, and both Blue Beetles.
Oh boy! Well, you know what? It's like potato chips. Can't have just one. This pretty. I would admit that's crazy. That's crazy. The Avengers has done that too. They'll bring in someone kooky, like the Avengers reformed and Reed and Sue Storm are members, and we have Gilgamesh from the Eternals. So like they did, that was a lineup once, and Captain America, but he's not Captain America, So yeah, they got to do stuff. But I think you'll often find with lineups like this, things just really fall off. Someone will quit or get killed or whatever. So, but good for them, because if it's always the same book with the same old people, it probably gets pretty stale. But it looks like a powerful lineup, 2 super people, and then you've got your Robin and your Harley, so you got kind of unconventional stuff.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I don't know anything about Frankenstein from comics. I just know, Frankenstein.
I think he's pretty much the Frankenstein you would expect him to
Okay.
be, so.
Except he wears a military uniform. He was a part of this weird run by Grant Morrison. It was like the 12 was it called the 12 Soldiers or something. It was a super team of kind of like misfits and things, and he was part of that. It's a different take on Frankenstein, which is he's kind of cool, and Jonathan Kent. This is the son of Superman, who was a young kid, but he was aged up a little bit. And he's a great character, and we'll see how this goes. But if anyone expects Batman and Superman and regular Diana Wonder Woman to not come back, you haven't been reading comics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
everything is.
Wendy's never going to die. That's my.
Of course not. No, that it's.
I would have to redecorate.
That's true. That's true.
You would just hold it in your memories. Well, so yeah, that's cool. I like shakeups, but they do always obviously have a way of coming back to plan. So anyway, trailer apocalypse. Black Adam starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. We got a full trailer. It wasn't even really a full trailer. I wouldn't call it a full trailer. It wasn't really a story trailer, was it, per se?
No, it's just like this is like the end. Like it's giving the background trailer because they did say, I was a slave. The gods revived me. So they kind of tell you the premise of it. And
Right. Yeah. Framing, but not story. But yeah, it looks good. I don't know anything about Black Adam. I barely know anything about Shazam. I love that movie. There is a tangential tie between the two, but there won't be any direct tie within this film. I get the feeling, or maybe that's something.
No, I think they're going to tie it in with the Shazam sequel.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that works for me. Yeah, where Black Adam is just he's like we're because we're getting Hawkman in this, we're getting Dr. Fate, who's an awesome character, obviously, and Pierce Brosnan.
Hello.
But I know he's standing. What? Speak.
His Dr. Fate helmet is dumb. It looks stupid.
Why? How is it dumb? I didn't
look at it that close.
Dr. Fate meets Deathstroke. There's only like one eye part. It's really.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they released most of the Funkos this week too. So, and I always look at those because I'm a bit of a Funko junkie, and I'm just like, this don't look right. It don't look right. I don't like it. I
wonder if there's just been a version of that helmet, like in other versions of Dr. Fate.
That I don't know. I'm not a super huge Dr. Fate junkie, but I think that looks stupid. But Hawkman looks badass.
Yeah, for sure, legit. But yeah, like he's standing face to face with one of the heroes. And like, we're heroes. We don't kill people. And long pause, and The Rock just goes, "Well, I do." so he's going to be a badass. He's catching rockets and exploding stuff. And you had your funny moment where he's standing in front of the vehicle with the two people, and they just roll their windows up. And he's like tap 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 tap, and somebody shoots a rocket at him and grabs him. So the guy who hits a crowbar against his head, and then you just see the guy go woo into the distance. I thought that was pretty. Great.
That looks awesome. I'm just waiting for ISIS because I have Googled a lot because I thought it'd be cool to do an ISIS costume because I loved the ISIS show when I was a little kid.
Right.
Oh wow! That's a big cut.
That was one we talked about it last week on the 70s one. Joanna, what's her butt? Who was ISIS? Yeah, fantastic. Well, cool. This comes out when?
So this is a late 2022 movie. October 21st, and which is cool because it kind of gives a break between like Christmas time. Not much happens in the middle of end of October, November. That's not like a horror film, so it's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. We are focusing on the JSA, which is great because one of my favorite comic runs was the JSA that Jeff Johns did. Really reinvigorated the JSA. Black Adam became a huge part of that, and really Black Adam is essentially like Dr. Doom, Charlie, where he essentially becomes like the king of his own country. And all he wants to do is protect that country. And he doesn't care who the hell you are. He will kill you if you threaten his country. Kind of like Dr. Doom with Latveria. But sometimes he can play the hero. Sometimes he can play the anti-hero. So I like that they're not making him a sweetheart. But yes, he was enslaved, I believe, by the Egyptians long time ago. So
that's
when the Egyptians
looks like, I mean, because Isis isn't Isis his wife from some of the lore. I don't know that much. I don't really remember the Isis show from the 70s and that lore, but that was all Egyptian tie-in.
Yeah, and that was that by the same folks who did like the Shazam TV show?
Yeah.
And did like what is it? Electro Woman and Dyna Girl?
Oh my goodness! All right, you guys are getting too deep in the weeds here. So let's move it along. Todd, I don't know anything about this next thing. So why don't you tell me about it?
Yeah. So what happened? Like Netflix Geek'd, and so this is all of like their nerdy comic book, anime, everything under the sun that they have coming out that is genre shows. And they did like 3 days of like just announcements and drops for trailers and things like that. And they announced some really cool stuff. And we'll go down this very quickly. If you hear something you think is cool, stop me and we'll go from there. But essentially, they dropped a teaser trailer for the Castlevania. It's called Castlevania Nocturne, which is essentially a spin-off of the Castlevania anime, which I loved on Netflix. So that's coming. That's very cool. We're getting a Dragon Age. The game Absolution is coming, and that is an animated version of Dragon Age, which is coming as well. We're getting the Sonic cartoon. That's coming. The Cuphead show is getting a second season, which is fantastic.
I know a lot of kids who like that.
Yeah,
it's
that's
fun.
The thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those old Fleischer cartoons come to life as a video game, and they're just playing with it, which is fun. Tekken Bloodline anime, which I'm a big fan of that. Let's see what else is going on here. Shadow and Bone, which is a series I liked on Netflix. I watched the first couple episodes. It's getting a sequel that's based on a book, so I think that was pretty cool. Yeah, they don't cancel everything, folks, which is nice. There was
just most things.
Wait, is there something new Marvel coming out too onto Netflix that I see this week, and I'm like spacing out?
Nothing Marvel. Yeah, nothing Marvel on Netflix because they stole them away. Yeah,
Disney's
swear there was something. Okay, I don't know. I'm just
maybe Spider-Man. I think is Spider-Man going to Netflix? I can't remember. They have a different deal. Yeah, but yeah, we've got some games coming to Netflix. Actually, if you have the Netflix app, you can actually download games, which is kind of cool now. Stranger Things got their second part of season 4 trailer, so that's out now if you want to watch that. Then we got and there's a lot of Stranger Things things out there. They actually played a game of D&D live, which I thought was kind of funny. The cast, which is cool if you like D&D.
Oh,
wow. Yeah. One of my favorites, though, Master of the Universe Revolution. It's essentially a sequel or the second season in that Kevin Smith He-Man show, which I absolutely loved. So this is essentially a sequel to it, and it's going to be an all-new He-Man story. Season 1 was really a Tila story, so I'm thinking they're going to focus on different characters, which is kind of cool. So I'm excited about that one. Let's see. There's going to be a Skull Island animated series, that's based on the Monsters universe. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting by the same animation studios, Castlevania. Then let's see what else is here. Inside Job, a show I really enjoy. It's very much by the creator of Gravity's Falls, but it's very much adult and about conspiracy theories within the government. Absolutely think it's hilarious. You should watch it. It's getting a second season as well. The Dragon Prince, which I think is a really cool show. It's by the Avatar: The Last Airbender team. That is coming back, getting a season 4. Let's see. Then we've got some other stuff like Intergalactic. It's a new show coming. It actually looks like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which looks pretty cool. Pretty good cast in that one, like Macaulay Culkin, Kid Cudi, Timothée Chalamet. Then we got you guys just have to watch this trailer later. It's called Farzar. It's sci-fi adult comedy. I watched the trailer and I just they just can do anything on Netflix because it was gross. It was very disgusting and over-the-top adult comedy. So if you want something in that vein, it's there. And the trailer did not shy away from that.
Oh, my.
Yeah. And let's see. Going further, we are getting a bunch of different anime series. If you're into that, there's not a lot that really jumped out to me. We've got that Gray Man movie that is coming out with Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling, which apparently had a $200 million budget, which is just crazy.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's supposed to be cool, though. And it's got Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans, like I said. So 2 big stars doing cool spy stuff. Then we've got this animated film called The Sea Beast by the makers of Moana and Big Hero 6. I'm a big fan of both of those.
Wow.
It's essentially a pirate movie. It looks very fun.
Ooh, I like pirates.
The pirates.
Yeah. Then we've got Troll. It's a new movie coming from the Tomb Raider director, which apparently, you guessed it, they're out to hunt trolls that are apparently real in the real world.
Sure, real trolls. I like it.
Then John Wick, the creative team of that, is making a vampire movie with Jamie Foxx. So it's called Day Shift. And then a bunch of spooky, scary stuff. There's a Spanish slasher killer book club. It's coming out with these kids who are essentially dead, telling their stories of how they were killed.
What?
Yeah. There's lots of it. There's a Blasted. It's a sci-fi comedy with laser gun alien combat. It's described as Hangover plus Hot Fuzz plus UFOs.
Okay.
Oh my goodness! Yes, and what else? Oh, and they showed a snippet, and I'm not sure if you were this, Mia, but Zack Snyder tried to pitch a Star Wars film. They said no, so now he's making his own movie based on that called Rebel Moon.
We talked about that.
Oh my God!
He's called it Rebel Moon. Well, doesn't Disney own the word rebel now?
Oh, I'm sure they do. Rebel. Sorry, David Bowie. Sued.
Yeah. If we're suing your estate, we're suing you twice because you used
yes.
Oh my God!
A big one. Yeah, I mean, just it's all over the place. So we'll see how this goes because we're probably not going to get a Snyder cut for a movie that he directed and he produced. So hopefully that's not going to happen. Then we have The School for Good and Evil, which is a book series, and this has got a pretty good big cast. But basically, people that are going to be villains or heroes go to one of these two schools. Charlize Theron and Kerry Washington are in the leads on that. Yeah, other than that, Resident Evil series, Sandman, got its trailer, which looks fantastic. Oh, yeah, it looks fantastic.
That's what's going to Netflix. That's Marvel.
DC.
Oh, it's DC. Crapola, I'm still on my brain together.
That's okay.
I know
That's okay.
Educate yourself.
Too much stuff. And then we've got the teaser for the Wednesday Addams spin-off series. Yeah. So, I mean, there's just too much to talk about here. But, I mean, if anybody is worried about Netflix making content, folks, they're still doing it. They're not fired. They haven't been, they haven't turned off the shutters and turned off the lights. They are still making a ton of cool content.
They're still finding ways to make some bucks, though. I don't know how. Well, that brings us to a wrap. So, Todd, it's time to bid adieu to our denture-bearing friend. We've got to get ourselves.
That's not nice to say about me, Charlie.
About whom?
I
thought I made the old jokes around here. Ouch! No, Mia's coming with us because we've got to get down to get the nitty gritty to Skugtown over there to the Geeky. So let's go.
Talk nerdy to me. Talk nerdy to me.
We're sitting in the Geek Easy, cover bands playing, drinks are poured, and we are ready to get our nerd on. So this week, we've got a couple new things to talk about. Mia, would you like to go first?
No.
Okay, very good. See, she's following.
I thought ladies first. I'm being polite, trying to be a gentleman at times.
Well, she can jump right in because I know that she saw this thing that I saw too. But we're in the middle of, we're at the beginning, of the summer movie season. We've now gotten our third tentpole film, which would be the final movie in the Jurassic World averse, or so they say. This would be Jurassic World Dominion, which I title didn't necessarily make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
So this has been 4 years that has gone past since Jurassic World Lost Kingdom, Fallen Kingdom, something. So anyway, dinosaurs are now part of the regular world. They made it off the island. They're all over the place. You've got shady types that are capturing them and making super dinosaurs and selling them on the black market and doing all this different shit. So Claire, who is Bryce Dallas Howard, is still fighting the good fight, trying to save dinosaurs. She's still living with Crisp Rat. I mean Chris Owen, character in the woods with the little clone girl that they rescued in the last movie. And
dinosaur or person?
Person.
There's a clone person? I've not seen any of these movies.
Oh, that's way too much to get into then.
Yes, it's too much.
Clone girl?
Anyway, yes, a clone girl. Though that gets turned on its head as well. No, we're not going to go full spoilers with this because this just came out and we've not all seen it. Todd, I know you're not going to see them, even though if you wanted to, all the movies are on my Vudu. You can certainly watch them.
I think they're on Universal or Peacock as well, too. Yeah.
Peacock, yes, indeed. So anyway, long story short, there's a kidnapping. The clone girl gets kidnapped. A baby dinosaur gets kidnapped. And everybody ends up together in this dinosaur sanctuary. When I say everybody, it's not only Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, but it's also our heritage characters from the original movie. That's right. You've got Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm.
Yep.
Ellie Sattler, played by
Laura
Dern, who did not look that old 5 years ago when she was in The Last Jedi. I don't know what's going on.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
Charlie,
I'm just saying.
I think she's so gorgeous, so you better watch your tongue, buddy.
Laura Dern's kind of timeless. I mean, she's looked good for a long time.
This is very true. And Sam Neill as Dr. Alan Grant. See, I remembered all their names.
And he's so handsome still.
I think so. This is your chance to see all those characters together because by the end of it, they have to team up to escape. You know, everybody's always running away and then escaping. So long story short, too long didn't read. I would say that this film was no different than any of the others. People, you know, there's a place where there's the dinosaurs. Everybody thinks they're safe, and then things go ass over tea kettle, and the dinosaurs.
And boys are dumb, so boys are dumb, and they cause problems, and they don't want to fix them because there's a bad guy.
The villain is played by Campbell Scott,
Which I could not recognize him the entire time. I'm like, who the hell is this? He's gray now. He's an old man.
Half the movie, and I knew who he was, but I couldn't get his name. I'm like, it's Scott or Campbell or something, whatever it is. But then it turns out the deep Easter egg in the original film when Wayne Knight is selling the little can of Barbasol to the guy in the hat. That's the character that was recast to become Campbell Scott.
Oh, really?
I was wondering about that because I caught.
He runs a competing firm of like InGen was for it was Biosynth.
Something like that.
So anyway, blah blah blah. Something goes wrong. He's the big bad. Da da da. It's the same as the other film. So I would simply say, and the film has done 150 million domestic this weekend, so they're doing okay. Now they're not doing Top Gun money because that movie is
my god,
box office big time. But anyway, we enjoyed it. But yeah, you take it for what it is. I mean, if you're looking for Shakespeare while watching people getting chased by dinosaurs, you need to attenuate your expectations. That's all I'd say. But we enjoyed it. No post-credit scene if you go to see it.
Oh yeah, because we are all trained by Marvel movies, and you can't leave until like the house lights are up. Because I saw
even Disney Plus. Yeah,
I mean, like I saw a 2:00 showing because I didn't, that way it wouldn't be so crowded, and was at the new awesome theater in town. And like by the time we left, I was with a friend. There was no one else there, and there was like 7 people waiting for us to leave to clean it.
I did. I pulled up my phone and because I said April, I said, "Well, I'm just going to look it up. It's the only way to know."
Check stinger. Yeah. So if there was, I assume this was what the stinger would be. Fast forward 100 years, humans are all dead. The dinosaurs are super intelligent, and one of the dinosaurs decides to clone the human and bring it back to life, and it's Jeff Goldblum, and it's like Planet of the Apes.
That would be. Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna bring back any human, it would have to be Jeff Goldblum's character because people love him. But I'm not like I'll go pro Jeff Goldblum. I don't get that, but whatever.
Right, he does bring his usual charm, if that's what you call it. But anyway, won't spoil more of the story. But like I said, too long didn't read. Pretty much the same as the rest of them. So if you enjoy it, go. If you've not even bothered to watch it past the first movie, like Todd, skip it.
Well, I've only seen the first 2 Jurassic Park movies. I've not seen any of the Jurassic World movies.
Yeah, I mean, the Jurassic World on par, I think they've had better than because the first Jurassic Park was great. The second one was god awful, and the third one was meh.
The third one was better than the second one.
Absolutely, but it was just.
Well, they brought the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs escaped to New York,
no,
but
no, that was the second one, wasn't it? That was
that was the second one. Yeah, the third one was where they were on the little island and the dinosaurs emerged from it.
Yeah,
they had to rescue a kid, which is and then by the Jurassic World, they had set up a big park,
right?
And it was like there's Margaritaville,
right?
The whole thing.
The first Jurassic World was good. The second one was like, could you be stupider?
They had to rescue the dinosaurs because the island was being destroyed by a volcano. And then we got to this one. So anyway, moving along, like I said, if you enjoy those films, go see it. If they bore you, you will be bored. So Todd, the same essentially as Todd's review of the Bob's Burgers movie. If you like it, you like it. If you won't, you won't.
Yeah, perfect. So Mia, did you have anything this week?
No, because I mean, the only thing I saw this week, I mean, I saw Maverick a week ago, but that's already up.
So Mia, very quickly, you saw The Boys, or the bad guys? The Boys.
Yeah, the
bad boys. The very bad boys. It was
a really cute animated movie. Just trying to figure out the moral. Like it's a good morality tale that's not like smack in your face, shiny, happy. But it was cute. It was fun. The characters were cute. The voice, I don't remember who all the voice actors were, but it was really fun. And I thoroughly enjoyed it because I was very entertained. And there was a little surprise in there that I didn't catch. So that was good. So, hey.
Over the head of mere mortals.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell was the lead actor, I think, in that. And Sam Rockwell was awesome.
He was fantastic. I mean, and his character was just, his character was really fun. And he does a little dance shuffle thing, excellent. Traditional Sam Rockwell move.
Everybody loves shuffle and dance. Todd, you watched a program that we've all watched, so you're going to have to give us the Reader's Digest version.
Yes.
The Sands Through the Hourglass.
So yeah, this is Miss Marvel, is Disney Plus's latest Marvel show. This is based on the character Kamala Khan, who believes she made her debut about 6 or 7 years ago. Her origin is she was basically changed by the Inhumans, charged and mist, gained abilities, special abilities, and she was the mega fan of superheroes, and she loved Captain Marvel. And so this is her story based on essentially pretty well adapted first trade paperback. The only difference is her origin story is different. Basically, there's a magic gauntlet bracelet that she gets from her grandmother that gives her essentially very similar to Green Lantern capabilities, where she's making projections rather than that. And she's just a nerd, Pakistani girl trying to get along in the world. She's got a uber religious brother. Her mother's very traditional. Her father's trying to be cool and hip. She's got a best friend who's a dude who I think has a crush on her. And they're both geeks. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more Tom Holland Spider-Man kind of vibe. With it sounds like there's a little behind the scenes between the two actors, that they're friends, because it sounds like there's been some interplay. So wouldn't I think it would be something to see the two of them interact. But then again, don't forget that Tom Holland Spider-Man now doesn't exist in a certain fashion because of that weird curse. Nobody knows that he's a non-entity. So that's kind of a bummer. I don't know. Maybe that's why I haven't watched Spider-Man Far From or No Way Home again, because it was just a bummer to me. I felt so sad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was great, bringing all the different universes in. Yeah, it was a great film.
I did too. It was very sad, but it was sad in the traditional Peter Parker way. He always loses.
It was probably more true to the Spider-Man, because he essentially was down on his luck. He had everything going his way. He didn't. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool.
But anyway.
Yes. But
I was going to say. Go ahead, please.
I was going to say, because one of the things I think that makes it unique, this is lighter fare, I would say. It's attached to the MCU, but this is definitely feels like something that would have been, if it done well on Freeform, this would have been more in the Freeform. This is more
this the audience.
It's goofier. It's kind of witty. The way they film it and the stylized filmmaking they use for it, because she's an artist and they incorporate that. I think it was really cool.
It's a good thing too, because it's geared towards to get the older audience, but also geared towards the younger audience. And it's like, it's nice that I was super excited when this comic came out. I did read some of it because my niece was really young at that time. She was like 7 or 8. I don't remember. And it was just like, I wanted to get her into comics, and I wanted her to read something about a girl, like kind of like a normal person who just gets powers. And I love the fact that she's more ethnically diverse. It's like not like just another, character. And it's just like, I have great hope for this movie that is just, like girl standing up for herself, who's kind of like looked down upon by a lot of people in her school. Cause I was I was the pasty white chick, but I was the nerd who was really awkward, who people just kind of walk all over in high school. So like to see this kind of stuff to me is really great, because it's something that that's been lacking in the comic world for the most part. So.
Yeah. And this is, she's a young Muslim girl, and talk about who not exactly a lot of part of the country doesn't really like Muslims. They're afraid of them, and I'm hoping this opens some doors and makes people realize they're very much just like us. If you're not Muslim, there's just people. And it's like, and you see with it, she's a normal teen. She's dealing with parents that just don't get her, and she's trying to be her own person. And I like that. The one thing I thought was unique, her mom kept telling her, like, "Who are you?" what do you bring to the table? What is your story? And I'm like, that's refreshing to hear a parent say versus why are you trying to be like everybody else? Why are you trying to be like someone else, like a Captain Marvel? Like you idolize them, but you're important too. So I think that's a cool take on that characterization.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to seeing more of it. So.
This plus the spin from Moon Knight in being something that's really detached and on its own from the MCU is a great direction because, again, after the Uber stuck together in a big ball of gum that was, the Infinity Saga, Marvel's telling different stories now. They have to, because if it becomes lather, rinse, repeat, people will lose interest. So you got to branch out. You have to find new audiences. And the way to do it is to touch, the different corners of people who are in the world that we share, which not everybody is the, straight white male that is Captain America. You're going to have different people from different backgrounds. So that's what they've done. And again, I think they're doing a great job of it.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, we're going to get 6 episodes of this, so it'll end on July 13th. So short and sweet, similar to Obi-Wan. It'll be cool to see what they do, but I think this is really, and this is not the last place we'll see her, because she is going to be in the Marvels movie, which is
not
very
the
cool.
Marbles. You said the Marbles. The Marvels.
But I think we're building in the younger generation of Marvel heroes, which we haven't had a lot of because they've almost been middle-aged people. So it's kind of neat to see younger heroes come about, because that means then you get to enjoy them for a long time. So very, very cool.
The youngsters. Well, cool. Well, Todd, I think that takes us up out of the mix. We got to get over to the airport. Air Qantas is waiting on us. Private jet to the land down under. That's right. We're going to the Thunderdome. The mutants are waiting. So let's go.
Welcome to another edition of Thunderdome.
Thank you, Tina. We're sitting in the Thunderdome where the mutants have been gathered for a topic or a game to be entertained. And this week, we're continuing our time travel journey into the world of geek. And this week, it's the 80s. So we essentially have like 5 different areas we cover. The first one's sci-fi. And, I would say this is kind of the era that we got into quality science fiction films of different types of, quality, but also for different age groups, which I thought was really cool. So was there any 80s movies that stood out to you guys that were not like, oh, it's a known property? It was something new that was kind of like, this is really cool and I loved it.
Ghostbusters.
What'd you say? Well, sure. Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Is that horror, science fiction? It's always like comedy, right?
Yeah.
It's a weird mashup, right?
And it was fantastic. Yeah. I remember going to see that. I was a freshman in high school with a bunch of my friends, and it was like, wow.
I was 8 years old, and it changed my life. Really, it was like, whoa. Without, I know, such a baby. For me, it was, and with a soundtrack by Journey, it was Tron in 1982. I was 6, and this was Disney's first. This was a Disney film, which I forget sometimes.
Right, it was.
I forget. Mm-hmm. But to see what they did, pioneering computer animation with what was, I think, was this what launched Pixar? No, this wasn't. This was pre-Pixar, wasn't it? Or was it was not Pixar?
Pixar was a little later.
Steve Jobs, I believe Steve Jobs. No, I'm wrong. Steve Jobs started Pixar. Sorry, he was part of getting Pixar off the ground. No, they I don't know who did the but it was one of those first movies that did CG. Yeah,
absolutely. Like I said, and with the soundtrack by Journey,
yeah,
chef's kiss. Journey is special to me because Journey is my music of the summertime, so I'm always blasting some Journey in the summer. So that's awesome. But yeah, I love this film. And this is one that gets probably a rewatch every year if I get the opportunity because I like it so much. But yeah, really to me broke the mold of what had come before, which is what made it so memorable.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Todd, how about you?
So I'm just going to go through a couple of these just because they stand out to me. Because
no, you get one because
well, I'm going to give you 2. So I would pick the first one would be Enemy Mine, which is a fantastic movie about aliens, former enemies surviving. And that was Dennis Quaid was in that and Louis Gossett Jr.
I know,
I've
so
never
good.
heard of that. Wow.
That great flick was 1985. I think I saw it in the theater, and it's what's funny, Mia? I saw it in whatever movie theater is now the Phoenix Theater.
Wow.
That was another movie theater, and I saw it there. I remember
cool.
seeing it. Yeah, isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
All right, Todd, what's your number 2?
Okay, and there are some other ones, but they're goofy kid movies, so watch those if you want. I think they're all on Disney Plus anyways. But The Last Starfighter. I loved The Last Starfighter kid because everybody's dream of like playing a video game, and it's actually a test to see if you would be qualified to be a star pilot. And you get recruited.
It's just never ended up working out for you, Todd, did it? You haven't been swept away yet.
No, and it was so cool, and I still think it's a timeless story that could be brought back. It could be a sequel. It could be a reimagining. I just think it could be fantastic. And that also had really bad like space CGI, so don't watch that. The Death Lotus thing.
Big time. Oh, yeah, exactly. And back in the day, you were like, ooh.
Exactly.
Speaking of creeps and horror, moving on to horror. Oh, I think I'll go
first.
Because we know what Mia's is because we already talked about it. Oh, that's okay.
Surprise.
Well, hopefully I'm not going to steal yours because this is one of April's all-time favorite movies. That would be The Lost Boys from 1987.
No, you didn't, but that's another really great one.
Okay, good. I know. No, it was great. Super stylized, very 80s. You had Jason Patrick and both of the Corys.
Yum.
Yeah, and Special K. Yeah, and Diane Wiest was the mom, and you had Ted, was it Bill or Ted from Bill and Ted? Alex Winter, and a couple of other guys who were all the vampires. It was, like I said, it was super duper 80s, and let's not forget the greased up sex guy who stole the show.
Greased up saxophone player, which is like, yeah.
Oh man, he still believes. But anyway, that's mine. All right,
okay,
now
so
Mia,
this is
your
kind of
turn.
like, this is a little bit more on the mystery, but there's a little bit of a horror element. And Young Sherlock Holmes, which is early original Pixar animation.
Yes, right. It was the first one. The first
Pixar in a movie, if I'm not mistaken. And I think it's really underrated. And I just loved the story, and I loved how I remember seeing that when I was a kid, because my dad wanted to see it because my dad loved Sherlock Holmes, so we all saw it as a family. I mean, it was 85. I'm not sure if my brother was in town or not because he would have graduated high school at that point, but yeah, it was just really cool. And I just remember because in that, the stained glass window comes to life, and that's the Pixar thing. And I thought that was like so cool and kind of mind-boggling, because it was like a different thing than Tron. Because I saw Tron in the theater too, because I'm an old nerd and I'm proud.
That's okay.
Show.
We all are. I think we're all in that age era, which is perfectly fine. Yeah, I would say, the hard part about when I looked at this list that was like 19 films, I'm like, there are so many quality films, but you know what?
I know.
You know who kind of was the king of the 80s was Stephen King. And
just by volume.
I'm too wussy for them.
Oh, well, the one that I just love today to pieces, it's one of my favorite. There's a couple that I really love from him, but I loved A Pet Sematary.
Cemetery. Whoa. That
89.
That came out in 1990. Are you sure?
89. I looked it up, Charlie. It made it
Skin
under
your
the
teeth.
wire.
Skin your teeth.
But if you want me to, I can pick a different one if that's under.
No. You're not cheating. You're not cheating the rules this time. You only get one.
Yeah, because I believe I saw that at a junior high party, and of course, scary movies, and maybe getting some attention from someone. Typically go hand in hand, and didn't work out for me. But still, why not? Love it. Fred Gwynn. Sometimes dead is better. I mean, come on.
Right.
I love it. Gage, totally. The creepy baby, little toddler. Oh,
yeah, right.
Love it. Yes. But there's so many others. It's Charlie, we'll have to revisit some of those movies.
Yes, I think we could sneak that into Shocktober.
I mean, seriously, if you want to talk about 80s Stephen King movies, you could talk about that for like 4 hours.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, God. Well, that was his Freebird, the 80s. He ruled absolutely. Okay. Well, what are we on to next? Television?
Sci-fi TV. Because I try to figure out the best. And the list I have is like these are the ones that are the oddballs. Because 80s TV like genre was all over the maps. When I looked at these, I'm like, wowie wow. There are some winners and a lot of losers.
I have a total misnomer, but I don't want to go first. So Mia, your turn. You pick one. Oh no, then I'm going to go first. My favorite weird TV show, this is leaving out obviously the fact that we got Star Trek The Next Generation in 1987, it's not that, is Misfits of Science from the fall of 1985. One of the first things Courtney Cox ever did after she danced on stage with the boss. In that video, she was in this thing. Yeah, it was a bunch of kids. It was kind of like Head of the Class, but they had superpowers. And I think one of the kids from Head of the Class was actually in it. The kid who played Brian, who went on to be a director. I think, yeah, I mean, I loved Head of the Class. It's funny. You can find Head of the Class on YouTube, but it doesn't exist anywhere else. We actually watched it a while ago. But yeah, this was a little bit like and it's funny because apparently there was a lawsuit because of its similarities to the X-Men, because that's pretty much what it was like. But yeah, I dug it. I dug it because I just remembered it. And again, it was teenagers.
Great theme song too.
Yeah, in 1985, I was 9. So teenagers are like, they're older kids, and you think it's super cool, and they have powers and shit. So yeah, I was totally into this. Looks like it was on for half a season, October 85 to Feb 21, which was right before my 10th birthday.
Zero recollection of that.
Oh, you have to watch a trailer, Mia. Just watch a trailer. It'll tell you the whole tale.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, because I mean, they had what, maybe 10 episodes total, 10, 15 episodes. Yeah. So anyway, that's mine. All right, so we'll save Mia for last. Todd, your turn.
Yeah, Charlie, I was just telling Misfits of Science. I love that show, and as a little kid, I'm like, it's going to be on forever. Everybody loves this show, and then like, why isn't it on anymore, Daddy? It's not in the TV guide. Right. It wasn't. Well, Charlie, you probably say, Todd, what would you pick? And I mean, there's so many good choices in this. Manimal, Automan.
Oh, Powers of Matthew Star.
Oh, The Phoenix. I mean, so many of these bad shows. Just watch the trailer, and then you got it from those. But one of my favorite shows that I just think was phenomenal was Amazing Stories. It was an anthology series, but it was taking more of that science fiction, really crazy ideas. And I believe Amazing Stories had a movie before the TV series came out. And there was the first episode was essentially, I think it was John Landis directed it, or maybe one of those other great directors, but it was all about these kids who hated their teacher and wanted him dead and ended up killing him. And it was Christopher Lloyd was the teacher.
The doc.
Yes, and it was phenomenal. If you ever get a chance, watch it. I'll look up the name of it later and share with everybody after. But it was just so fun. And every episode, you didn't know what you were going to get. And sometimes they were wacky, sometimes they were a little scary, sometimes they were just really engaging, a really cool idea that could have been a movie or a TV show. So amazing stories. And that was helmed by Steven Spielberg. It was really one of his first TV projects.
Nice. Mia, you get anything from this list, or are you just drawing a total blank? It's totally fine.
I don't even know where the list is.
It's one of the links, and you don't see the link?
Because you know how inept I am with freaking technology.
That was the Google thing. That was actually the document in there to link to it, but that's okay.
I didn't get a link for that one. It's weird. Like I have issues. But I mean, one of the things that I did like watching when I was a kid, and I'm hoping it's in there. Quantum Leap was like my favorite show.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. It actually wasn't on this list, but that's a good one because that was actually a good show.
Fall of '89, and we've talked about that on the show a ton and they're doing a continuation of it. It's coming up. It's in production right now. But I love that show. Scott Bakula, who later, of course, went on to be on Star Trek, because who wasn't? But yeah, great show.
Absolutely. I'm sure we missed some, so people will let us know what they liked. But you know what? Something we all liked in the 80s, and I had too many of them, which is toys.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And so, I already know Todd's favorite. Okay, maybe it's the Atari. I don't know.
Well, and there's a list here that's like the top 25, and it just brought all these toys that didn't exist, didn't move forward, and a lot of iconic toys as well. But Mia, did you have a favorite toy line or toys that you just thought were weird or wacky from the 80s?
I mean, there were a lot of toys I wanted, but my parents were not indulgent. Because let me tell you, Little girl wanted a Cabbage Patch doll, so stinking bad, never got
Right.
one.
They were like
Oh my
crack
God,
back
yeah.
then, and people were like slugging each other at the goddamn
Not even a
Montgomery
lettuce
Wards for them.
basket
Yeah.
kid that was like the knockoff.
I mean, eventually I found a knockoff that I made with my mom, so I made my own.
Oh,
Because we're all
well, there you go. It's like my aunt, because she has 4 kids, and then there's the 2 of us, made us all Care Bears, which is another big one on this list. So yeah,
The Charlie Bear.
Yeah, that makes it all very much the I don't care bear.
Like I also I mean, I wasn't into strawberry shortcake, but like we wanted video games. So, what did we get? Because what was this was the early 80s for us because I was, I'm a smidge older.
Yeah, Pong and Burger
everyone
Time
had Atari because that was the big thing back there.
Mm-hmm.
We had an Odyssey.
Oh, Odyssey! Ooh,
I don't even know what that is. Todd does though. Yeah.
Not many people own the Odyssey. Yeah, it was like below ColecoVision and television. Unfortunately,
we had a PC. We had a VIC 20. So you had the games that were cassettes. So not even a disc.
Yeah, cassettes were hot. Yeah, those were like the school computers that you played Lemonade Stand on.
Oh my god!
My god!
I mean, yeah, I always wanted a Care Bear. Oh, I did have my brother had a Magic 8-Ball, and I thought that was cool as can be. I was never into My Little Pony. I mean, now I am because I have a friend who's a My Little Pony junkie. To put it mildly.
A brony.
Oh God, yes. No, our friend Lori is absolutely. She is to My Little Pony as what I am to Star Trek.
Yeah, pretty much
her
that
thing.
would work. I mean, and like I'm trying to think of what else because like I wasn't into She-Ra. I wasn't that into Barbies, but I do also, remember Simon.
Oh yeah,
Simon. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it was
the game that most people lasted 2 rounds.
I had a mini one, like a travel size one, and I could play. I was pretty good at that.
I can hear those sounds in my head right now.
Bomb. Yeah. All right, I'll take a stab at it, and it's tough because boys growing up in the '80s, we had toys galore. Obviously, Star Wars is on here, but we talked about that last week. Of the main toy lines that I mainlined, it didn't make this list, but it's GI Joe for me. And I still love GI Joe. That was a reinvention of a 12-inch line from the 60s, and then in the 70s was Action Team G.I. Joe with Kung Fu Grip. This came out in Star Wars. Star Wars influenced it, and the figures got smaller, obviously smaller, cheaper, easier to produce at the 3 3/4-inch size. Star Wars, the huge explosion of that produces. But yeah, you got America's counter-terrorist team. You got the original team of 12 that were all just boring-looking army guys, except for Snake Eyes. And then over the next, I think, 8 years, they were in production from 82 to 94, you got characters with increasingly more ridiculous outfits that were supposed to be in the United States military. From football jerseys to, tank top Sergeant Slaughter and the Fridge, who is action figure William
the village people of military forces.
Yes, very much so. But they had great vehicles. I mean, they had, of course, in 1985, they came out with the brass ring, the Great Webb Buffalo of all toys, the USS Flag, which was like 7 feet long, broken into 4 pieces, had over 100 easily to lose accessories. They really had it right. That was the golden age. And for me, G.I. Joe far outstripped Star Wars, even Star Wars as a line, because Star Wars didn't make it nearly. Star Wars was around for a year or two after the last film came out. So we're talking about 6 years versus
Charlie, if only Star Wars had a cartoon to keep making toys from.
Oh my God! Yes, well, they did have some of the '80s, and yes, they did manage to
all those droids and Ewok toys,
droids and Ewoks figures. But yeah, GI Joe was my thing. Todd, what about you?
So it's a tough one because really there are 2 that define my childhood, and I'll just say the first was He-Man and the Master of the Universe. It really came on strong. I watched it every day after school. So I owned both castles. I owned way too many Master Universe toys, and I just loved them. They were awesome. They came with little comic books, and they were just so much fun, and it was phenomenal. But a little bit older, Todd, basically robots that transformed into vehicles. more than meets the eyes. I mean, Transformers, to this day, I still love them to pieces, even though the majority of it is crap. I don't care.
Yes, they dragged you through Michael Bay, but you still love them. Yes,
I still love my
just
G1.
like just like I still love G.I. Joe after those films. They'll never get G.I. Joe right on film.
Yes, but one more thing that has a place in my heart because I was a babysitter. My next door neighbor had a Teddy Ruxpin, and that was the creepiest thing in the world. Had a
put in Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil, and press play.
Yep. Any tape you put in,
shout at the devil.
You'd get some weird reactions from Teddy, but oh well. Yeah. And you know what? If you can find one, have some fun. If you can find audio
all right
these days. Yeah. Lastly, we're getting to cartoons. 80s. Yes. Oh my goodness.
Speed round.
Too many options, but man, oh man. Mia, do you have a cartoon that is a special place in your heart from the 80s?
Okay. Well, because I didn't watch cartoons later in the 80s as much, but I was a big Smurf fan and Chip and Dale and DuckTales.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
big time.
I still watch Scrappy, but it was Scrappy because I love Scooby-Doo. Mm-mm. But Scrappy just made me cringe, but I still watched it because I love Scooby-Doo.
Right. Yeah, it's the evergreen Scooby-Doo. I could very easily say, G.I. Joe, because I just talked about G.I. Joe, but I loved two that I can think of. One that's not on this list. I'm going to take a page from Todd's book. I loved Inspector Gadget, the inept cyborg. He had a helicopter. You can see in this clip, helicopter that came out of his head. Let's forget about the Matthew Broderick film. And then I loved a weird one, and I don't know if it was on Channel 9 out of Canada, and that's why I saw it, but it was called Danger Mouse. From England.
Show reruns of that, Charlie.
And maybe, that must have been it. So he was this tiny. He lived in a post box outside of 221B Baker Street, and he got into. It was my first exposure to British culture. It was way before the Beatles, with the dry humor and the silly. Because he had a little. He was a big white mouse. He had a little brown hamster, Penfield, who was his Dr. Watson, and it was dumb. And I thought I caught one recently, and it just does not hold up. I
saw that. That sounds vaguely familiar. I probably thought it was cool.
Yeah. Right. He was like a spy with a bodysuit.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. No. So I totally loved it. So that was mine. So Todd, are you gonna pull a rabbit out of your hat? What do you got,
Charlie? And I'm gonna have one that I know you and I share, and that is I'm gonna give you two. So I'm gonna give you the first one because we probably share it, and maybe Mia does as well. Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Oh my God, yes!
I adored that show because it was the X-Men and Spider-Man essentially.
I just added. There's a little corner. I got found a Firestar figure, and then my buddy sold me an Iceman figure. So that's on my Spider-Verse shelf in my figure collection. And with a little background, came with Ms. Lion. So I got a little Ms. Lion down there.
It's like Spider-Man's team up because you'd bring in all these weird stars. It was the only way as a kid to see like Marvel heroes you liked, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. So
first appearance of the X-Men in cartoon form.
I watched Super Friends, and that went to the early '80s with the Wonderful.
Yeah, the tail end of it was in the it was a challenge of Super Friends. Yeah, I mean, that's what I said last week. That was my exposure to superheroes was the Super Friends.
Oh yeah, the challenge of the Super Friends, which was against the Legion of Doom, which was fantastic, and you got Cheetah and all this perfect stuff. Yeah, 70s. That was probably the best of the 70s cartoons. But my first love,
take us home.
My first love, please. Voltron. This is really coming into the United States. Channel 50 showed this every day after school. I came home as a kid. It was kind of had some long form storytelling, which was pretty cool. I mean, 5 robots forming into a giant robot that were all lions, taking on Prince Zarkon. Oh, so good. And Hagar, the she-witch. And oh my goodness, so good.
Never watched it.
Kitty approved.
Oh, so good. It's bad if you watch it now, but
stuff I never saw.
Any of these 80s cartoons do not hold a candle. Like I'll watch oh my God, I love G.I. Joe. I can't sit through an episode. They're so poorly animated that it's just like, oh yeah.
And the writing was really bad. But there is a remake or another version of Voltron. Actually, it's on Netflix and it's awesome. So sometimes you can do it right. Yeah, definitely
never can be told. Yeah. Oh my goodness! Well, Todd, with the sands through the hourglass, because we were on a short schedule today, we are done. That was amazing, Mia.
Thank you. Are over.
Oh, thank God.
Thank you for your 80.
shoulder
Thank you
pads.
for your 80s expertise. We appreciate it. No, thanks for coming on. It's good to have you. It's good to have you back because we just had you on Holocron not that long ago, so we'll have to keep things going. But how do people find you out in the socials?
Envy
Rattle
the
them
Green
off.
Fairy on Instagram. No E's. Envy the Green Fairy cosplay on Facebook. And I don't do the TikTok yet. I may never do that.
You should. You should.
I'm not doing content
we're trying to
these days,
get
but
better.
hopefully that'll change. I'm going back to a daytime lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yes, you're going.
It's
You're going
definitely
to
a way to reach out and beyond your borders, which I found that's a great way to broaden your connection. Yeah.
That's how we're trying to do it over on Twitter, which consequently is where you can find Todd and myself. I'm over at the C3, spell it out. Of course, Secret Friends Unite is at Secret Friends U. My wife April and I also run the West Michigan chapter of the International Star Trek Fan Club right here out of Grand Rapids, USS Grand Petoskey, which can be found at our website and all socials by that name. Todd, what about you?
You can follow me on Twitter at @toxtra, and most of the time there, I'm just chatting up people, having a good time, trying to find new folks to bring on the show. And by the way, if you want to see all our cool stuff, I always tell people, go to the Secret Friends Unite YouTube channel, subscribe, comment on the videos, let us know, and just check out what's in our backgrounds because you might see something crazy like Charlie's cat.
Yes.
Or a giraffe in Mia's background.
Right, or this looming my new display, which I'm very proud of.
Or awesome geek prints. So you never know what you're going to find. And by the next episode, I may have a new background in a different house. So follow me. Don't follow me at my house, please. I don't like creepers.
Yes. He hasn't even given me the address because he knows I'll show up on the day he moves. I'll be like, what's going on?
Nobody's a bigger creeper.
That's so true.
Yes.
It's what I do.
Yes. So that is it for the show. Mia, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us in this wonderful journey to the 80s.
Yes, friends, thank you one more time for joining us. I'm going to tell you as always that sharing is caring and keep on trucking.
Be the hero, not the villain.
Yeah.
In a truck.
And I'll form the head.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. Visit secretfriendsunite.com for more great shows, articles, news, reviews, and more. Secret Friends Unite podcasts are available on Apple, Google, Spotify, and other podcast services around the world. If you'd like to be part of the conversation, you can join us on Facebook or our new Discord server, or follow at Secret Friends U on Twitter. Please subscribe to Secret Friends Unite on YouTube and visit our merch store at tpublic.com. Just search Secret Friends Unite. Thanks for listening.